morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at a pair of new EX battle decks. They're going to be featuring Greninja, and they're going to be featuring Kangaskhan. Now, first of all, this is important because new EX battle decks you may be wishing to pick up. But even if you're not looking to pick these up, even if that's not one of the things you're looking to do, this is still important because it is going to say something about the nature of our Obsidian Flame set, which cards are included and which cards aren't. For instance, the last lot of EX battle decks featured Chen Pao and Tinkaton. Now, Chen Pao was actually an alternate art of Chen Pao. It wasn't the same as the art in Paldea Evolved. And that means that in Paldea Evolved, we did still have the regular art of Chen Pao, because the one in the EX battle deck was an alternate art. There is a pretty clear through line here that we do not do straight reprints of Pokemon in EX battle decks. It doesn't happen. Whereas Tinkaton, it was the regular artwork. So whereas the full art of Tinkaton and actually the special illustration rare were both available to be pulled in packs of Paldea Evolved, the regular version of Tinkaton wasn't. It was removed from the set to be used in the EX battle deck. So this is what I mean when I say this is kind of important. So what do we got? We got Greninja and Kangaskhan. Let's start off with Greninja. Greninja is being cut from Obsidian Flames, and it is going to be an exclusive card that can only be found here. There is no other version of Greninja which can be found anywhere else. This is going to be a completely exclusive card, which of course is not particularly unusual. The first two EX battle decks featured Lucario and Ampharos, and they were of course exclusive cards that could only be found in those EX battle decks. That's the case here. Because if we go and have a look where Greninja came from, this is one of the ones from the EX start decks over in Japan. And we've been talking about these on the channel lately with these Obsidian Flame reveals coming through. And I told you it is likely that all of these decks will be represented in Obsidian Flames. However, I've been very, very clear to tell you guys that until a card is officially revealed as coming in Obsidian Flames, there's always a chance it gets removed to be used as a promo. That is what has happened with Greninja. Although, I believe all the others are actually just being lifted and put into Obsidian Flames, that is not the case here. Greninja is going to be exclusive to this EX deck. And actually, some people out there have run the numbers with reveals done so far. We actually had too many water Pokemon already. Something had to go. It's going to be Greninja. Now, I told you that when Tinkaton was cut for the EX battle deck, we still had those two other versions of Tinkaton in Paldea Evolved. Not the case with Greninja. Because, of course, when an EX comes around in a starter deck like Greninja does in Japan, there's no full art. There's no special illustration rare. The regular rare is the only version that we get. There's only one version of Greninja. It's going in an EX battle deck. It is being cut from Obsidian Flames, and this is going to be an exclusive promo. If you want to pick it up, you might think about going to pick it up. But what about Kangaskhan? What's going on with Kangaskhan? Now, Kangaskhan, interestingly enough, is not actually from Ruler of the Black Flame or any of that in Japan. It's actually from Pokemon card 151. That special set? The one that we're just getting a Scarlet and Violet 151? Yeah, that. Turns out that's where Kangaskhan is from. And I put the image on the screen, and at this stage you should be going, well, hang on a second, Wassy. That's not the same card. Well, it is and it isn't. It's not the same card in terms of artwork. It absolutely is the same card in terms of effect. Now, I know we don't have an English scan of Kangaskhan as I record this, but, I mean, even if you don't read Japanese, come on, you can see it's blatantly the same card, ladies and gentlemen. It is very clearly the same card. Single energy, draw 3 cards, free energy, flip 4 coins, 100 damage for each heads, and I can confirm that is exactly what this card does in Japanese. Interesting to note, if we look at the front of the box here, obviously Kangaskhan is a colourless Pokemon. What that means is that we don't actually know which type the deck is going to be, but if you have a look on the front, you can see there is grass energy stacked behind it. So although it is a colourless deck and in theory could be anything, yeah, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be grass. And this is kind of interesting because our Scarlet and Violet 151 set is actually going to have regular Kangaskhan, and it's going to have full art Kangaskhan in. And then this EX deck is going to have an alternate art of the same Kangaskhan. So there's going to be 3 versions and it's all going to be a little bit weird. But this is why we need to pay attention to this kind of stuff so we can figure out exactly what's coming where. And once again, we're in this lovely situation where both these EX battle decks are giving us a reason to buy them. Because we've got Greninja, which is an exclusive card that cannot be found anywhere else. And then we've got Kangaskhan, which is found in 2 different versions in Scarlet and Violet 151. But this artwork is exclusive and it is a Black Star promo. You can see that on the front of the box as well. So if you are collecting Black Star promos, you are going to be wanting to pick this up. Cool. Now in terms of what the decks feature, you get a 60 card deck, and then the usual stuff, large metallic coin, a deck box, but it's going to be cardboard, damage counters, but they're going to be cardboard, a strategy sheet. It's basically a 60 card deck. The thing is, I told you we've had a bunch of these before. We had Ampharos and Lucario initially, and then we had ourselves Chenpao and Tinkaton, and that means that we know pretty much, and they are of course level 1 products, it says that right on the front, we know they're not going to be terribly competitive. Like, I don't think I'm giving anything away here when I tell you that. These are not going to be terribly competitive decks. But they have exclusive cards in, either brand new card or artwork. And they're really good for people learning to play, people who are new and want to get a bunch of new decks, etc. My advice on whether to buy these is the same as it's always been. But are either of these any good? Well, the Kangaskhan I actually really like. I really like this Kangaskhan. Remember, it can be found in Scarlet and Violet 151, though. And look, it's single energy draw 3 cards on a basic Pokemon with 230 HP. And I'm not saying this wants to be your primary goal or anything stupid like that, but I absolutely am saying that if it's early in the game, you know, turn 1 going second, for instance, and your hand looks like garbage, yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a really good option. Not a plan A, I think it's fair to say, but a pretty gosh darn solid plan B. And that's actually how I feel about the second attack as well. Because the second attack, 3 colourless energy, flip 4 coins, 100 damage for each heads. I don't honestly think that you should be going into a game going like, I'm going to flip so many heads. Because that's not going to work very often. What is going to work, however, is I need a KO now. I need to do 300 or 400 damage right now or I lose the game. And I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I am saying if my choice is I instantly lose the game, or flip 3 out of 3 heads and I win, I'm flipping the coins, ladies and gentlemen. Will it work all the time? Nah, probably not, truth be told. Sorry. But if it's lose the game, or 1 in 16 chance of winning, oh, I'm taking that 1 in 16 chance, because at the risk of sounding a little bit obvious, 1 in 16 games you're walking away with a win there. I'll take them odds, ladies and gentlemen. I will absolutely take those odds. I don't think Kangaskhan is a good plan A under any real circumstances, but I think both of the attacks can, in some situations, be a really quite nice plan B. Yay! As for Greninja, and bear in mind if you like Greninja, you gotta buy the EX Battle Deck. It is the only place it is going to be available. What we've got here is single energy, 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's a stage 2. If I'm using this, I've evolved all the way up to a stage 2. And I'm doing 40 damage. And fine, you can hit the bench, but again, I'm doing 40 damage. No. I do, however, like Torrential Slash. I think it's pretty good. 2 water energy, 120. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, it does 120 more damage. Like it, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely like it. Obviously, you can use Hawlucha here as just a way to get some damage on bench Pokemon. That's quite nice. And of course, there is a great combo with Calamitous Snowy Mountain. Whenever any player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their basic non-water Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Obviously, yes, your opponent can just wait until they evolve and then put the energy on. Of course they can. But sometimes they're not going to be able to. And sometimes they are, but then they're giving away an attachment. They're giving up an attachment because they didn't want to take the damage. Either way, that's a pretty good win for you. I don't like that it's a stage 2. I'll just put that out there. And the first attack is like legit garbage. I mean, it'll be fine occasionally, but it's generally garbage. But I really do like this second attack. Just remember, it's on a stage 2. So once again, we got 2 new EX decks. Once again, they are coming as a pair. Once again, they are proper Black Star promos. We've got an actual exclusive card. There is a lot to get excited about, but I want to know how excited you are. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and a bunch of other fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. And of course, get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Uncle Pokepeter, who is one of our newer patrons and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far, the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.